God, life might be danger over here because people think that he has something to do with Pac. People think he has something to do with Biggie, and they right here in Brooklyn. You understand? It's right here in Brooklyn, and some of the people are still mad that he made making of the band walk to Brooklyn from, to get the cheesecake, and just around the corner from the Cheesecake Factory. So, Junior's. So it might be some dumb shit. So y'all need to get him out of here and ship him to Jersey because somebody gonna kill him over here. Those are good arguments, if you want to call it, but it's bullshit. He gonna get the same treatment no matter how much money he got.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody to fuck? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah.
50 Cent has just released shocking new footage that shows Diddy behind bars looking visibly shaken. And the internet hasn't stopped buzzing since it dropped. For a while, the narrative floating around was that Diddy was doing just fine in lockup, living comfortably, drinking wine, and even schooling people on business like nothing had changed. But now that image is starting to fall apart. Rumors are spreading that the situation has taken a darker turn. Words circulating online suggest that certain individuals may be targeting him, and some are even tying it back to people connected to Tupac's circle. For decades, the deaths of Tupac Shakur and Christopher the Notorious B.I. Wallace have loomed over hip-hop like a wound that never fully healed.
In 1997, who told investigators that Puffy had hired the Southside Crips to kill both Suge and Tupac, and that the Crip who was jumped at the MGM was in the group that had done the hit, and that they originally were going to do it at Suge's Vegas nightclub, but then decided to do it right away instead of waiting. This was exactly the same story that Keefe D told us a decade later. Very few people know that immediately after Tupac is shot and that white Cadillac is fleeing, one of the death row entourage, a guy named Alton McDonald, known as Buntree, chases after the Cadillac, and a second shooting takes place between the two vehicles. Alton McDonald's car is struck. In fact, within the Las Vegas files, there's a document that indicates that Alton McDonald's car had been struck by a bullet.
They even said that, like, in retrospect, that was probably the best thing that could have ever happened to Puffy. By Zip stealing the money, now Puffy isn't connected to that shit. Or else it would have been like a hire or something, you know what I'm saying?
The FBI said it was just...
So the FBI told you the
same
same
thing?
thing?
The dirty most. Yeah.
So the FBI told you that Zip kept that money as well?
They said Zip's the dirty most. Everybody cross you. You're the last one to know every fucking thing. Even lawyers, your friends, everybody you cross.
All of it, Diddy has consistently denied any involvement in either death. Still, this newly surfaced prison footage has reignited speculation, leaving fans questioning whether there's more to the story than what's been publicly acknowledged. Tupac was fatally shot in a drive-by attack in Las Vegas on September 7, 1996. He fought for his life for 6 days before passing away at just 25 years old. Only 6 months later, Biggie was killed in a similar drive-by shooting in Los Angeles on March 9, 1997. The loss hit just as hard. Two rap icons gone almost back-to-back, splitting the industry straight down the middle. At that point, it was no longer just music. It became about loyalty, pride, and a deep-rooted East Coast versus West Coast divide.
In an interim of being there to spy on Big, Jimmy Henchman told him that they finna teach Pac a lesson. Because Pac had owed him some money. So that's why he was up in the studio and was coming to the studio. Pac owed him some money. He was gonna work it off and get some money from doing a song with Lil Sean. And that's what that was about. But Pac was talking greasy to Jimmy Henchman, and Jimmy Henchman wasn't the type of dude that you talk greasy to, allegedly. Unless you're 50 Cent.
So Diddy knew what was going to happen to Pac.
He knew Pac was about to deal well, yeah. He was there to see it. He was there to see it. He wasn't only there to see Big them when Jimmy Hitchman told him that. He was there to see what's going to happen to Pac. He was there for that. Because had he not been there for that, he would have went up there in the office. He would have went to the studio or the studio session with Big them. He would have went to that studio session with Big them. He knew what room Big them was in. He didn't do that. He was there to see what was going to happen to Pac after Jimmy told him. And that's factual.
Diddy as Biggie's close friend.
Diddy as Biggie's close friend, producer, and the driving force behind Bad Boy Records stood firmly as a leading figure for the East Coast. But with this footage now circulating, more people are asking whether the past is finally catching up to him. Over the years, Diddy's name continued to surface anytime the murders of Tupac and Biggie were discussed.
Kirk Burroughs, he also said that, he feels like, Diddy was behind Pac murder.
Yeah. If Diddy played a part in that stuff, like he said, Kirk know where the money came from. I'm going to say this. They tried to, if you talk about the Vegas trip and the whole 9 yards, Kirk said that he paid for people to drive out to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? He said he paid for people to drive out of Vegas. I was heavily with Bad Boy at that time. I don't remember that part of it. You understand? I don't remember that part of it. But if Kirk knew and he was paying for people to drive out to Vegas in the whole 9 yards, it's hard to hide $1 million, brother. You ain't going to cash that in the check cashing place. You signing that over to somebody. I said 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 times again. Eric Von Zip showed me and my man Boondang, aka my man Slick, a check for $1 million. We don't know, and everybody trying to say, lying, talking about half of it got paid, 500. I don't know. I know when I asked him about, we asked him, do we ask? No, we didn't ask him. I know when he showed us a check and he walked away after he showed us the check for the $1 million.
Then the conversation exploded again with the release of the Netflix docuseries Sean Combs, The Reckoning, which premiered on December 2nd and instantly reignited old controversies. The series featured multiple voices openly suggesting that Diddy may have been connected to both deaths. One of the most talked about moments came when Bad Boy co-founder Kirk Burroughs stated in the documentary that he believed Sean played a major role in Tupac's death and ultimately led Biggie into danger.
I seen an interview that Puffy did with Fat Joe where he was talking about Biggie in his last moments in LA, and he told Fat Joe that he didn't want to go to LA, he actually wanted to go to London. But Biggie, he was the one that wanted to go to LA, and he was the one that was pushing to go to LA.
That's not true. My name is Kirk Burroughs. I ran Bad Boy Entertainment. I helped co-found it. I created the company with him. I raised from general manager to president. And at that time, I put all of those business plans together. And Biggie didn't want to go to LA, ended up going. What got him out there was a week ahead of time to ease him into the whole award show. He may not have wanted to go to London, but was talked into it. First time ever, a rapper of your stature getting this treatment, that would be something he would be interested in doing, but he was easily talked out of it by Sean so that they can make an appearance at an event in LA that Saturday night. A part of the posturing of not only did we come to the award show, not only am I recording my album out here, and Big is gonna help me with some of the writing and maybe do something out here where me and him did this song in LA. I'm out on the town. And it was just...
That statement alone sent shockwaves through the audience. The docu-series laid out a picture of intense tension between Diddy and Tupac, showing that the conflict didn't emerge out of nowhere. Early on, both men were moving within the same industry circles, chasing success and building their legacies. But that dynamic eventually shifted. On the night of November 30th, 1994, Tupac went to Quad Studios in New York City to record a verse for an artist affiliated with Diddy. Instead, the situation spiraled into chaos. Tupac was ambushed, robbed, and shot 5 times in the studio lobby. He survived the attack, but the physical and emotional damage stayed with him. His trust in Diddy and Biggie was deeply fractured. When Vibe magazine interviewed Tupac in 1996, the questions were direct and unfiltered. He was asked outright whether he believed Diddy had any involvement. The Quad Studios shooting remains unsolved, but former Bad Boy bodyguard Gandil has made explosive claims, alleging that Diddy already knew Tupac was going to be attacked and did nothing to prevent it.
They wasn't going out to no party, no clubs, and no hip-hop scene. They wasn't doing none of that, brother. But that one particular night they go out, and it was because of Puff and D-Rock. Clark Kent said that shit himself. I've been saying it for years, but everybody was saying, I'm capping. Nah. What do you call Clark Kent? Is he capping? He's a vice president of a record company. You understand what I'm saying? He was DJing for Big. Is he capping? All these people should smack themselves, brother. Because what happens is, when people hear the truth, they can't believe it. Why? They can't understand it. But it happened. We couldn't have done nothing because it was no we. It was no we out there. Big had a security, Paul offered. Reggie Bullock. Puff had me and Kenny. We was down 6 to 8 other men. And there's 23 people in the entourage. And none of them got no guns. You don't go Cali empty-handed. We couldn't have done nothing.
Gan has said that a recent 50 Cent documentary referenced the incident but left out a crucial detail. According to him, on the day of the shooting, Diddy, Andre Harold, and Jimmy Henchman were all inside Jimmy's office together. While Biggie and Suge Knight were unaware of what was about to happen, Gene insists Diddy's presence there wasn't random, claiming he was there with a specific purpose. Gene further alleges that Diddy was closely monitoring Biggie at the time because he had control over Biggie's publishing rights. Biggie was actively writing new material, and Gene believes Diddy wanted to know exactly what was being created. That's why Gene claims Diddy wasn't in the building to work, but to observe. According to Gan, things took an even darker turn when Jimmy Henchman allegedly told Diddy that Tupac was going to be taught a lesson over an unpaid debt. Gan says that moment shifted everything. He also argues that his account aligns with what Kirk Burrow shared publicly, suggesting that Diddy may have been operating behind the scenes.
People still want to know about him. They should have had better security. I asked them before we gonna go out? Let's hire some more security. They refused to hire more security. They refused to hire more security. Kirk Burrows said the same thing. They ain't have it in the budget. Not without Big, they don't have no budget. How about that?
All changed in September 2023 when Keith D. Davis was arrested and charged with murder. Prosecutors stated he played a major role in Tupac's killing, bringing a case many believed was buried back into the spotlight. Then in July 2024, a bombshell court filing revealed a previously undisclosed police interview from 2009. In that interview, Davis allegedly admitted involvement in the attack and claimed that Diddy was the one who put the hit in motion. Once those details became public, the hip-hop world erupted. Fans, artists, journalists, everyone had something to say. One question dominated the conversation. Did he really have a role in Tupac's death?
Again, he was friendly with Big. He saw Little Sean, people like that. They wanted him to come and do a record. That was what was set up at Quad. Biggie, knowing Little Sean, they were all there, C's, all of them. It was just going to be a fun night at the studio. Pac showed up. He saw them looking down from the window. His new friends were there. An incident happened in the elevator. It might have been a scary thing, like just to send a message. Tupac standing his own ground, just didn't leave it at that. He ended up getting hit, getting shot. The elevator went up. Our people were shocked to see him in that state. He was shocked to see our people looking at him shot. He thought that they knew something about it. He thought if he was in New York and he was with all the rappers from the East, they must have known what was going to happen. It had to be in the wind. And situations aren't laid out like that. And it was the furthest thing from the truth, but he held that to his heart. And then he went away. A few other things happened, got better, got repaired, went away, went to jail on a rape charge. Once that came down on him, it looked as if the East Coast must have been the worst thing and the worst place for him to have come to. And it looked as if the friends that he had just turned their backs on him. Suge stepped in. And when Suge stepped in, he signed him. He signed him to a napkin at Clinton. And that letter that he sent through Wendy Day, she was definitely a person that was connected and a mediator between most everyone in the hip hop game and had been for a minute, legendary person. She delivered the letter to my office. It started with West Side Up. So it gave an indication of rumblings that we heard in the street with him being shined by Suge, which is definitely true. He's going to go west when he comes back, and he has an issue.
Social media exploded. Old clips resurfaced and moments that once seemed ordinary were suddenly re-examined. Reporters began digging through archives, pulling up interviews and footage that now felt far more suspicious than before. Many noticed how uncomfortable Diddy appeared whenever Tupac's name came up, and some began connecting dots long overlooked.
By the name of Wendy Day, very important woman in the hip hop world. I think she helped Baby and those guys with Cash Money label, setting that up. She's very influential and instrumental in a lot of success. When I started in the music business, I reached out to her. She had a company called Rap Coalition. She went back and helped rappers from a previous generation get their money straight, their royalties. With that being said, I was like, she's someone I want to know. In knowing her, I had the good fortune of when she was dealing with Tupac during his crises on the East Coast, she went to visit him at Clinton. He wrote a letter, drafted it, so that she can bring it to me at the office so that I could know and be able to relate to Sean where we were with him. And the letter, if I remember, it said, West Side Up. And what we had heard was rumblings that Suge came and signed him on a napkin to a contract, and he was going to go west, and all the stuff that happened to him on the East and made it look like people on the East, the king or the biggest rappers on the East, or people that he knew should have warned him or protected him against what had happened. And it just is not geographically laid out like that. And a lot of people caught some blame for things that they had nothing to do with. And he took offense, went west, and that started him as a mouthpiece against the East, all right, going at Biggie. And I think it's more than, that's one level of the beef. Then I think there's another level of things that were going on in the streets where things happened in the dividing line between East and West that caused a big rift that led to mouthpieces going.
Diddy's legal team responded quickly, rejecting the claims and labeling them as false and rooted in street gossip. They insisted there was no concrete evidence tying him to the crime. Still, new court filings continued to surface, and public pressure only intensified. Meanwhile, 50 Cent made sure the story stayed alive. He reposted leaked clips, posted cryptic captions, and threw heavy shade that kept Diddy's name trending. Some saw it as trolling, others saw it as accountability. Either way, the spotlight stayed firmly locked on Diddy. In July 2024, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department publicly stated that Sean Combs has never been considered a suspect in Tupac Shakur's murder. He has never been charged and no official evidence has directly linked him to the shooting. Davis has pleaded not guilty and remains behind bars as his trial faces repeated delays. Yet, the tension surrounding the case has not cooled. Sources close to the situation have said Diddy and his East Coast circle were warned to avoid the West Coast where tensions were still high.
The D situation, I think the real reason why they ain't gonna let Puffy out is because they trying to connect that Keefer D situation with Puffy. That's what I really think it is. Because if it came down to some freaking foolishness and all that there of buku chumped up charges they couldn't prove, I don't think they got no evidence. I think they trying to keep him in there to lock in that Keefer D. You heard me? That Keefer D situation with Puff. I think that's the only reason why he's still in jail right now. They know Puff is not a dangerous person on the outside. They know if they let him out right now, he's going to be on house arrest. He's going to be a good boy. He f around and do all church little videos and whatever. They know that already. That's not what they aiming for. They don't care about none of that. What they care about is they trying to connect Keefer D with Biggie. I mean, with Tupac and Diddy. I'm telling you, that's what I feel. And I never thought I would have said that, but I'm an intelligent man, bruh. And ain't no other way they gonna keep you in there of, Diddy did this to me. Oh, Diddy did that to me. I'm suing him. Oh, we got enough evidence to. No, you don't. That's accusations. That's not actual factual, brother. You dig? So I feel like the actual factual thing that they really trying to aim for is the key for D. That's the only thing that they can really lock them in with. All the rest of that shit gonna get chumped down when it come down to it. Diddy gonna plead, and that shit gonna be over with. What they going? That rabbit in the hole is gonna be that key for D situation. I'm telling you, mark my words. Watch. That's why they ain't gonna let him out. They would have let Key for D out on that bail. Vegas got a little thing. They'll let you out on bail, but they got little restrictions of how you can get out. You dig? So they gonna make sure your ass can't get out of jail. Trust me. So that's the only way I see that. Because the feds play a different...
But questions remain over whether he pushed forward anyway to promote Biggie's upcoming album. Biggie reportedly didn't want to go. But according to claims attributed to Kirk Burrow and discussions in Sean Combs' The Reckoning, Sean allegedly convinced him to make the trip. Gene Deal has backed up this part of the story, saying the night never made sense to those closest to Biggie. Producer Clark Kent later revealed that Biggie was supposed to be traveling, not attending a high-profile event. When Clark asked why they were heading to the Peterson Automotive Museum, Biggie reportedly told him the appearance had been arranged by Puffy and someone else. Gene has said he didn't learn that detail until years later, and it continues to haunt him. He also recalls repeatedly pushing for increased security that night only to be told there wasn't enough money for extra protection. Gene believes that decision may have changed everything. The docu-series later introduced another controversial claim from former lap detective Greg Kading, who stated that he believed Diddy didn't assist the investigation and may have made it more difficult. As the series gained traction, fans and insiders revisited long-forgotten details. Online forums, podcasts, and social media platforms exploded with renewed theories. Everyone wanted to understand what really happened between Diddy, Biggie, and Tupac. Even longtime defenders began questioning whether more truth had been buried beneath the rumors. Every clip, every photo, every quote from the past was treated like evidence. Witnesses described Biggie's shooter as a black man dressed sharply in a blue tuxedo and bow tie. Yet no arrests were ever made. Decades later, both murders remain officially unsolved. Diddy has never faced charges, but speculation continues as new connections resurfaced. Kirk Burrow has maintained that tensions were building long before Quad Studios. Trust was thin, egos were high, and silent rivalries filled the industry. When Tupac was robbed and shot at Quad Studios, the fallout was immediate and permanent. Burrow has said Tupac later sent him a chilling letter making it clear that the conflict had gone beyond music. Tupac believed it was full-scale war between himself, Puffy, and Biggie. In his view, what happened at Quad Studios didn't just start a feud, it changed hip-hop forever. Others like Chopper have gone even further, openly stating their belief that Diddy was behind Tupac's death, framing it as something personal rather than professional. Those claims continue to echo through hip-hop conversations today. Rumors now suggest 50 Cent has been leaking footage to major outlets, keeping the story alive. And if Gene Deal's claims are accurate, some believe Diddy is preparing to respond in his own way. So the question remains, will the truth ever fully come out or will it stay buried forever?